Welcome everybody. This is gonna be a different video than what you're probably used to watching. Basically, video is gonna be going over the lore that I have set up in my hardcore series up until this point. It's been about a year since I've actually done lore, so I do think it's probably necessary for me to kind of make this video to update people. Now, I'm gonna be leaving most of it to the actual footage of me doing lore than me explaining it to you, but I'll be hopping in every now and then to kind of give a little bit of clarity that I feel like you're not going to get usually. Before I begin this video, though, before I start showing you the lore, massive trigger warning. This lore is very disturbing. It is not for the faint of heart, and it has a lot of these things listed on the screen right now going on in it. So anyways, with that being said, we're going to begin. The fuck? That's me. that doesn't look like me. That's not me. It's me, but evil. It's me, but evil. Yeah, sure. Okay. Why is this? What? Why is this? What is this? Do compasses spawn in natural? Do compasses spawn naturally? And named? They don't. Okay. Okay, what? Okay, well, alright, well, I guess I'll do, okay, do we follow it? I don't know if I want to follow it. What is the Discord? It's called the Cryospace. It's great. Oh! Hold on. What the fuck? Hey guys, what do you think the lodestone's point? What do you think the compass is pointing at? I have a theory. Okay. Someone did not like the person who lived here. I can't press tab. At least there's still coal in the furnaces. Steal it. Oh. Here's the lodestone. Here it is. Steal it. Want me to steal the lodestone? So, okay. Wait, alright, hold on. Why do you want me to steal everything? Why is this... I would laugh if there was a paper in the barrel saying, look behind you and something was there. Oh god, could you imagine? Steal the mountain? Oh my god. Okay, wait. Why is this... Okay, why is this house all fucked up? Why is this house all fucked up? And why is everything gone? And why is whoever the hell lived here, their farm is just destroyed? Creepers, am I right? Definitely had to have been. Do you think the people that burned it were looking for something? I'm gonna take the coal. I actually do want to keep this lodestone. I actually do want to take this lodestone, so I will be taking this. This compass looks crazy without the lodestone. I gotta follow the compass. I think the compass just always points in the opposite direction of where you're facing. So you actually, it's like impossible. It's like actually genuinely impossible to follow this compass. Okay. Huh. Okay, this... Alright, so after this point in the story, most of the lore revolves around just this one book. And you'll notice that there are two entities within this book. There's the writer, and then what some people have classified as the inner thoughts. And the inner thoughts are in Morse code. I'm not going to be translating the Morse code for you. You're going to have to do that on your own. But that's where most of the lore lies from this point forward. What? What the hell? What is that? Run. What the? What happened here? There's. Was this. This was a village. This was all. This. This was a whole village before. Yeah, there's bells here. But okay, all the houses are destroyed and the villagers are dead. There's no one. There's nothing here. What? And it says run. Why does this say run? Well, I don't get it. What 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 the hell happened here? I no, no. Okay. That doesn't this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. That that doesn't make any sense. What the hell? God, okay. Even on the even on what the second or third read, it still doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense. No, I can't. I can't. Okay. So there were it's obvious. There were people here before. People lived in this world before, but they're not around anymore because there's desert temples, there's jungle temples, there's ruined portals. In the Nether, there's fortresses, there's the end cities. Everything points to have there have been life here, but they're not here anymore. So what the hell happened to them? Where did they go? Or what killed them? This is why why are you always so angry at me? I don't get it. I don't I just don't get it. What the hell happened? Oh, oh my, oh my God! Uh, Another one? Another village. This, that's just been destroyed. I mean, there's just nothing left in here. There, there's no one. There's no one. All the houses are gone. This is the, what is this? The second, third? I don't even know which one this is. It's like the second or third. Okay. That is... What the hell happened? Okay. Doesn't matter. What what happened there? I don't get it. Why are there just destroyed villages? What? What? There's still cats around, I guess. So there's life here. But two right next to each other, two villages destroyed right next to, just decimated with no survivors left. That's two right next to each other. the hell? There, why are there villages, why are villages destroyed? Why is that happening? I don't understand why that's happening. Okay. This is that's I gotta figure this out. I gotta find out what's happening. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's just not normal. I don't I don't know. I don't know what happened. Okay, there's a few possibilities. There's the possibility of the Ender Dragon could have killed everyone and destroyed those villages. Could have been those amount of mobs like zombies, skeletons, creepers, all that. Could have been the Wither, and it could have been a person. Could have been a player. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't think it could have been zombies or like a mob, just normal mobs. It can't have been those because I can deal with them pretty well. I can kill them easily, so it can't have been those. Couldn't have been those. They're not strong enough. The Ender Dragon, they're only in the end. I haven't seen a single dragon in the overworld, so it couldn't have been an Ender Dragon. And plus, whatever race of builders or players that were around before, they clearly can deal with dragons since there's dragon heads on their ships. So it couldn't have been a dragon. So it's either a player or the Wither. And the Wither would that would explain the explosions. And but I don't think that a Wither would be that much of an issue for them. But I mean, it couldn't have been a player. No player is strong enough. No player could kill an entire damn world. That's not possible. It had to have been the Wither. No player, no person is strong enough to cause an entire race of people to run away to the end, to run away to a different dimension and kill off basically an entire race. No person could do that. It has to have been the Wither. There's no other thing it could have been. It had to have been the Wither. That would explain all the explosions. It would explain everything. It has to have been the Wither. That's it. All right. That's it. That's it. I did that. That has to be it. That's the only explanation. It was the Wither. Right? But if it was the Wither, if it was the Wither? What? Where is it? So after this, we move on to a video called "The Case of dot dot dot." The case of is a little confusing, so I'm gonna break it down briefly, very briefly. Two things are going on in this video. There is one, me reading books, and two, me flying somewhere and just talking. So the me flying somewhere and talking is happening before me reading the books. And there's a specific moment at the end that you will see that happens before I read the books. And it is because of this thing at the end that I start reading the books. I'll explain that after you watch it. I mean, there's no real doubt in my mind that this had to have been the Wither. I mean, can't imagine it's anything else, because nothing else would seem capable of doing something like this. I mean, the Ender Dragon most likely didn't exist at that point, or it wasn't native to the overworld. The Warden most likely also wasn't native to the overworld, since the Skulk seems like an invasive species. But the Wither, however, the explosions, how nothing is around, it would seem like a real threat. So if I had to make a guess, that would be my guess. That would be what I think happened. I don't see any other explanation, because no human could have done this. The case of Luck Eye Impossible is one of the most infamous cases in the history of serial killers. Being known as the first hybrid serial killer, he was especially hated amongst the public. His trial was the biggest event at the time. During a time where hybrids were known as second-class citizens, Luck Eye Impossible hated the fact that he was a rabbit hybrid, as he was constantly bullied for it as a kid. He grew up to resent those that picked on him. Luck Eye Impossible committed his first murder when he was 17 years old. He was walking home from school when a group of 4 boys started yelling at him and calling him names. In a fit of rage, he grabbed a brick and bashed it in the head of the boy closest to him. He proceeded to kill the other 3 boys that were there. None of them were able to fight back. After the deed was done, Luck ran as far as he could. After 2 hours, he went back home and acted as though nothing happened. Luck Eye Impossible was soon brought into the precinct for questioning, as some kids from school were able to place him at the scene of the crime at the same time it happened. It didn't take long for Luck Eye Impossible to become the prime suspect. Luck was soon arrested for the murder of the 4 boys outside of his school. Knowing he was guilty, he fought back against the officers that were arresting him. He managed to steal the gun off of one of them and shot both of them in the head. Luck proceeded to flee the scene. Luck broke into a house nearby and killed the 2 residents inside. Luck hid inside the house of the 2 people he had just killed as the police searched for him. The police put Luck Eye Impossible on the 10 most wanted list, and he was deemed hostile and dangerous. Little did the police know, Luck was hiding in a house not too far away from his own. 3 weeks later, the police received numerous calls about the smell in a neighbor's house. When the police went to investigate, they were shocked to find Luck Eye Impossible hiding inside. Luck stabbed one of the officers that attempted to detain him, but the other pinned him down. Luck Eye Impossible was taken to trial in one of the most polarizing trials in the world's history. Most people calling him a monster for what he did. He was given the death penalty on the charges of 8 murders, attempted murder, and resisted arrest. The public was divided about the sentencing of Luck Eye Impossible, many believing that it was justified based on his brutal killings of 8 people and how he was willing to kill again once he was caught, while others thought it was a cruel punishment because the boy was only 17 years old. When Luck Eye Impossible was asked about why he killed people, he said he was angry and scared. Luck Eye Impossible died by lethal injection. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am insane to think that the people that lived here couldn't take down the Wither because, well, I've done it multiple times. It wasn't really that much of an issue for me, and, I have netherite armor, and yeah, that's a big help, but, I mean, still, Like I could do it with diamond armor just as easy, and possibly even iron if I really was pushing it. But still, I cannot think of a possible way that anything else could have caused this much destruction all over the world and could have made the world this desolate. Shadow Sky, also known as the Phantom of the Night, is one of the most hated serial killers in history. Shadow grew up without a mother in his life, and his father was a heavy drinker. Being a phantom hybrid, he wasn't able to go out in broad daylight, or else he would burn alive. His father was the human between the two parents, so he was able to walk outside. His father would throw him outside in broad daylight as punishment for disobedience. Shadow Sky had to live in an abusive household for the first 15 years of his life. When he was 15, his father attacked him. Shadow proceeded to grab a knife and stab his father in the neck, killing him. Shadow Sky was brought to trial and he pled guilty to the killing of his father, but argued that he was acting in self-defense. The jury ended up believing his story of self-defense, and he was let off with no jail time and parole. Shadow would live the next 5 years with no problems whatsoever. It didn't take long for him to be deemed as safe. Shadow was let off on parole. This turned out to be the biggest mistake they could have made, since the night that Shadow was let off of parole, he killed a couple that was on a date in the park. He left the two bodies in the lake at the park. After not being caught for the murder of the two at the lake, he would spend the next 2 years going out at night and killing those that walked alone. The most disturbing murder Shadow had committed was when he led a father and his 7-year-old son to an alleyway after calling out for help. He would proceed to break the father's legs and kill his son in front of him. He then forcibly hung the father with a rope. Shadow Sky's downfall would happen when he picked the wrong fight at the wrong time. Shadow walked into a bar and went up to a man and asked him to help him outside. Shadow led the man to his car. Once he was there, Shadow tried to stab the man. Unfortunately, the man was armed. The man proceeded to shoot Shadow in the chest 2 times and called the police, telling him that a man tried to kill him. The police came and arrested Shadow and identified him as the same boy who killed his father when he was 15. The police were able to tie him to 13 murders, not including his father's. Shadow Sky ended up pleading not guilty to all the charges. The jury ended up finding Shadow Sky guilty of 13 murders of the first degree. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Shadow Sky would live the next 4 years in prison. When asked about why he killed, he would always answer that he never killed anyone. He continued to claim innocence even after he was convicted. Some psychologists say that it seemed like Shadow felt free after he would kill people, especially since his first victim was his father. The inmates at the prison Shadow Sky was held in soon figured out about his crimes, and once they heard about the 7-year-old boy, they became enraged. A group of 8 inmates dragged Shadow Sky outside during the day and watched him burn to death. Maybe it's that they did kill the Wither and they discovered the end and they went there and weren't expecting the fact that they couldn't come back. And maybe they weren't able to defeat the dragon. That could potentially be it also. There's a lot of reasons why what could have happened to everyone that lived here, because people obviously lived here, but I guess my reigning question would be, where did they go? And the place they went is obviously the end. But why did they go is still up for debate, and I guess the obvious would be a threat that they were running away from. But no threat that I have seen is too threatening to run away, especially a civilization that was as advanced as the one that lived here. Nothing could possibly pose a threat to them that would make them run away en masse like that. Niall Holster is one of the more controversial cases in serial killer history, as he was a respected member of the military in his youth. He joined the military when he was 17 and served for 20 years in the military. When he was 37 years old, he ended up retiring from the military and started a life outside of fighting. Unbeknownst to those that knew him, Niall had severe PTSD. He had constant visions of the battlefield. One day when he was asleep, he had nightmares of the battlefield. When his wife woke him up to see what was wrong, Niall killed her in his manic state. Niall would wake up the next day to find his wife dead. He called the police and said his wife had been murdered. When questioned, he said that he knew nothing about her death, but the police thought otherwise. After weeks of investigation, they concluded that Niall was the killer, but they had no evidence to convict him. Being a skeleton hybrid, Niall had exceptionally good marksmanship, so Niall ended up buying multiple guns. Being a military man, the shop owner did not deny him, or do any thorough background checks. 3 years would pass without Niall killing anyone else, but the police would keep a very close eye on him out of suspicion that he would try to kill again. The police would soon be proved right. During a manic episode, Niall would go out and shoot 2 of his neighbors. The police were once again unable to tie Niall to the murders, despite their suspicions that Niall was the one responsible, since the bullets were removed from the bodies after the murders. Niall Holster was once again brought in for questioning, but nothing ever came from it, as he told them he had no idea what happened to them. The police were frustrated with themselves as they were unable to get any meaningful evidence that would convict Niall. 2 years after his last killings, Niall would once again go out and shoot one of his neighbors in the dead of the night. The police would once again suspect Niall as the killer and would bring him in for questioning, but Niall would deny everything. In a fit of rage and frustration, a police officer would make his way to Niall Holster's house and strangle him in his sleep. The police officer pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison on the charge of first-degree murder. Niall Holster would be confirmed as the killer of these 4 after DNA samples were found on one of the victims. The public was divided when it came to Niall Holster. He was widely ridiculed because of his murders. Some believed that it was a case of PTSD and manic episodes that forced him to kill. Niall's brain was examined, and it was discovered that Niall was suffering from PTSD, which many people believe is the cause of his murders. Maybe they were running away from the Warden. The Warden is much stronger than the Wither. It's much more difficult to fight. It's a much bigger threat than the Wither. I could completely understand why the Skulk's appearance and the Warden would cause them to run away. That is definitely a much bigger and more understandable possibility. But still, the Warden, while it's a huge threat and strong and hard to defeat, it's very easy to avoid. I mean, I went however many months without even knowing it existed, without ever coming across it, and I mean, I feel like once you discover the Warden and you discover that it's underground, you just avoid it, and then that's all you have to do. So even then, it still doesn't make a lot of sense as to why they would run. Dream W. Akin is one of the most successful serial killers in history. Dream's killings weren't as brutal and sadistic as others, but his numbers were enough to make any person shudder. Dream was relatively popular in school. He was constantly gaining praise from others. This caused Dream to have an overinflated ego and began to think he was better than everyone else. He began to see himself as a god. When he was 19, Dream decided to invite 2 of his friends over to his house. Dream would then give his friends a speech about how he was God, and he locked his friends in his basement and told them they would play a game. Dream would play a game of hide and seek with his friends. If he found them, he would kill them. Dream killed both of his friends as they tried to run away from him. Dream would then bury them under his house. Dream W. Akin would continue to do this. He would invite various people from his college to his home, give them the same speech about him being God, and lock them in his basement and hunt them down. After all of his killings, he would bury them under his house. A very potent smell would begin to come from Dream's house, and his neighbors would begin to suspect him of something. Although when his neighbors confronted him about it, he denied any suspicious activity. Dream's most disturbing murder was the murder of Thomas Ennett. When Dream was 22 years old, he invited 18-year-old Thomas Ennett to his home. Dream gave him the same speech about how he was God. Then Dream locked him in his basement and gave him 1 minute to hide. Thomas was the first person that had tried to fight back against Dream. Dream was ultimately able to overpower Thomas and proceeded to bash his head into the floor until Thomas died. Dream W. Akin would go on to kill 34 people between ages 19 and 24. After numerous calls about the smell and the suspicions of Dream killing people and burying them under his house, the police obtained a search warrant and searched his house. The police would find multiple bodies. Each body would match the DNA of the 34 victims that had gone missing. Dream W. Akin was then arrested by police. Dream would never make it to trial, however, as he would be killed while in police custody. Techno A. Blade was his killer. Techno snuck into Dream's cell and ridiculed him for calling himself God. Techno would then tell Dream about how he killed one of his friends, Thomas, in it. After telling Dream that he was no god, Techno would beat Dream to death. It was discovered that Dream W. Akin was a dolphin hybrid, something that Dream tried to hide and didn't tell anyone. The public was ultimately happy that Dream W. Akin got what he deserved. The question of where they went is easy to answer, but the question of why did they go is the question that can't be answered, and that there's no way to answer it because it's an impossible question. Because I don't know why they ran, because I wasn't around when they ran. I don't see the threat that they ran from, because whatever threat they ran from is obviously dead because I wasn't here to fight it. It wasn't here when I got here. And I don't see it being the Wither. I just don't. That doesn't make sense to me. Techno A. Blade is one of the most well-respected serial killers in history. This is due to the people he would kill, who were mostly corrupt politicians and people who abused their power. Being a pig hybrid, Techno regularly saw law enforcement treat hybrids as lesser than other people. Because of this, Techno would grow up to resent police officers and law enforcement. This also made him resent those that had positions of power. Techno would commit his first murder when he was 18. He saw 2 police officers harassing another hybrid. Techno would proceed to hit one of the officers over the head with a brick, take his gun, then shoot the other. After realizing the feeling he had after killing those officers who were oppressing others, he devoted his life to killing those that abused their power. Techno would kill again when he was 20 years old. He would end up robbing a gun store and snuck into the house of a governor who had been accused of raping his secretary. Techno would shoot him while he was in his sleep. When Techno was 23, he would sneak into the cell of Dream W. Akin. He would ridicule Dream by saying, "You think you're a god? No god would kill those that look up to and trust him. You are no god. You're just a pathetic man who takes joy in killing the weak." Techno would then beat Dream W. Akin to death and leave him in his cell. It was quickly figured out that Techno was Dream's killer. And just like many of his other killings, Techno would receive praise for ridding the world of yet another evil. Techno would be arrested at the age of 27. After killing 43 people, he would be sent to court. Techno would plead guilty to every murder he was accused of, but Techno would claim that the people he killed were those that deserved it. The public would ultimately side with Techno, saying that he should be released and be allowed to continue his work, but the jury working on his case would think otherwise. Techno A. Blade would be sentenced to life in prison without parole. Techno was highly respected in prison. Nobody dared to fight against him. When asked about why he killed, he said the people he killed were horrible people that deserved to be sent to the pits of hell. Techno would live out the rest of his life in prison. He gained praise from the public and even the inmates that were with him. Techno would die at the age of 93. Techno A. Blade is known more as a hero rather than a serial killer. I guess all I can really do is theorize for now. I can only think about why and make a hypothesis, but I guess truth be told, I'll probably never figure out why they went to the end, and I guess the bigger reason, why they stayed in the end. Why did they not come back? Because obviously they were able to kill the dragons, so they should have been able to open the portal. Nothing makes sense. The case of Edmund Foster is one of the more heartbreaking cases in serial killer history. Multiple reports and studies would show that Edmund was suffering from severe OCD brought on by trauma to the brain. Early in Edmund's life, it was noted that his mother was rather abusive. It was very difficult to find any cases of the abuse, as it was never bad enough to be reported. The only one that is known is the last one. His mother had hit him over the head, but what wasn't expected was for him to stumble backwards and crash his head against a stone staircase. With this being out in public rather than in the confines of their home, his mother was taken into custody, while he was taken to the hospital. He was quickly taken into an orphanage. There he would begin complaining to the caseworker about a ticking noise he would hear once in a while. This had never been recorded before, so they chalked it up to being trauma to the brain. His first reported killing was when he was 11. There had been a boy that he had shared a room with. The boy had been relentlessly bullying him for his constant tics that he had been hearing. The tics went from him hearing it once in a while to him hearing it more frequently. It got to the point where his head would slightly tick every time it happened. It isn't known exactly what happened, but what is known is that the boy got in Edmund's face, flicking his head violently to tease him. What he didn't expect was for Edmund to lunge at him. With a rock in hand, Edmund would bludgeon the boy to death. For the first time it had started, Edmund's ticking had stopped almost entirely. After realizing what he had done, he quickly scooped the body up and carried it away. He quickly found an opening to an ocean. Edmund tossed the body into the sea in hopes that the body would drown. Edmund came to the conclusion that the ticking was a timer for his life, and the only way to stop the timer was to keep killing. It isn't known about the next 4 killings and why. It's presumed to be at complete random due to the boy's extreme head trauma. His next and final killing would happen when he was 13. His OCD and trauma had gotten so bad that every single time he heard a person speak, the ticking would be almost deafening. He had heard a family in their home laughing hysterically. The sound nearly crippled Edmund. He quickly entered the home where he found a couple and their son. He quickly stabbed the mother to death. What he didn't know was that his home happened to be in the village, with his home being slightly off-skew from the rest. Law enforcement quickly got to the scene before he could kill the boy. He ran out of the home and into a cave that was nearby. It's presumed that the officers were yelling in order to catch him, and the ticking he heard was nearly deafening him. What is known next is that he was backed into a corner. As the men were screaming at him, the ticking seemed to be getting so much worse as the feeling inside him, which was the most painful experience, quickly took him over. It wasn't known to most people at the time, but Edmund was a creeper hybrid. After being so overwhelmed and in so much pain at the ticking noise, Edmund ended up exploding, killing everybody in the cave. In total, he killed only 8, not including the deaths of the officers in that cave. When Edmund's case was released to the public, people felt sadness for Edmund, that it didn't seem anyone tried to help when he was showing early signs. While what he did was seen as unforgivable, he is the only serial killer that could be dubbed as a victim due to the system's inaction and his mother's constant abuse. But I guess none of those questions relate to why I'm here again. I mean, someone obviously stood here and lived in this area void of anyone else in any, area or anything close, and when you go up here, all you find is one bed in a barrel that had a book in it, and that book has some pretty disturbing events to it. The case of Saul G. Bretner is one of the most disturbing cases in serial killer history. Saul didn't kill as many people, but his murders were brutal and nearly torturous. He's one of the most, if not the most, hated serial killer of all time. After he was caught, Saul G. Bretner would tell psychologists that he enjoyed the feeling of power he felt as he was killing people. He said that he wanted to savor every minute. When Saul G. Bretner was 31, he kidnapped a 24-year-old man and tied him to a chair in his basement. Saul would proceed to torture the man every day for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, the man would succumb to the wounds he received by Saul. His second victim came in that same year. Saul did the same thing when he kidnapped an 18-year-old girl and tied her to the same chair inside his basement. The girl would only live for 10 days until she died. 2 years would pass until Saul would kidnap his third victim. He would kidnap a 30-year-old man from his home and tie him to the same chair. This man would live for 6 months, with Saul brutally torturing him every single day. Saul would kidnap his fourth victim, who was a 17-year-old boy. This boy would live for 2 months. However, with his victim, Saul would actively try to keep them alive as long as possible by giving them medical assistance after every time he tortured them. Saul's final victim would be a 21-year-old woman. This girl would live for 4 months. Saul would once again do the same thing of giving them medical attention after each time he would torture them in order to keep them alive longer. After the girl died, Saul would go hunting for his 6th victim, and he would find his 6th victim in the form of a 25-year-old woman. Saul would kidnap her and tie her to the same chair. This girl was able to get out of the ropes that Saul had knotted together. After getting entangled from the ropes, the woman would find whatever she could to fight the man that was holding her captive. When Saul came back down to his basement, the girl hit him over the head with the chair that he had tied her down to. The girl ran away until she found the police. She would then lead the police to Saul G. Bretner, where he was promptly arrested. The police would find the bodies of the 5 people Saul had tortured and murdered. As soon as Saul G. Bretner's case became public, the public was disgusted and called for him to receive the death penalty for the gruesomeness of his crimes. Saul would end up pleading guilty to his crimes and even asked for the death penalty himself. He would end up being sentenced to life in prison without parole. However, Saul G. Bretner wouldn't live long, as he would be killed by a fellow inmate after being in prison for 2 months. Saul G. Bretner was a magma cube hybrid, and it was noted how the victims' murders seemed to have incredibly severe burns on them. Heat and fire seemed to be the main torture method Saul used, since he could withstand the heat while others couldn't. Someone obviously broke here. Someone had a mental decline here and they couldn't stand it any longer and went on, well, what obviously was a killing spree. I don't know what I'm looking for or why I'm so intrigued, but maybe that is exactly what I was talking about in human curiosity. Maybe it was the thing that got this old civilization stuck in the end in the first place. I don't know. But whoever wrote this book, whoever it could have been, concerns me. And I don't know, maybe I think that the serial killers of the past will provide me an answer as to who it is, but obviously I have my doubts. Isla Strude is the only female hybrid serial killer known to the world. She was a bat hybrid, so she mostly worked at night. All of Isla's victims were men. It is theorized that she would bring men back to her apartment and kill them. Isla killed her first victim when she was 26. She would invite a man to her home so that they could watch a movie. When they got back to her apartment, Isla would hit the man over the head with a frying pan and proceed to bash his head in. Isla was questioned about the boy's disappearance, since his friends said he was with her the night he went missing. But Isla told the police that they went back to their apartment, watched a movie, had sex, then he left, and she never heard from him again. The police believed her story despite her being the last person seen with the man. Her neighbors in the apartment complex she lived in were suspicious of her, but ultimately concluded that she was telling the truth because she seemed like a sweet girl. Isla would lure her second victim to her apartment 3 months later. She would pick up another man from a bar and bring him home. When they got to her apartment, Isla would stab the man 28 times to kill him. Once again, the police questioned her about the man's disappearance, but Isla would give the same exact story of meeting him, bringing him home, watching a movie, and having sex. The police suspected Isla since this was the second time she was the last person seen with a missing person. The police ultimately dismissed Isla being the murderer, and instead focused on the other residents in the building. The police started investigating a man by the name of Ian Lotus. It was common knowledge that Ian had a crush on Isla. The police's theory was that Ian had been killing the men Isla would bring home because he was jealous. Isla would end up bringing a third man home and stab him to death. The police would note the same pattern of Isla's date disappearing the night they meet. The police would bring in Ian for questioning and would talk to him about his relationship with Isla. Ian would talk about Isla in an almost possessive way, and he did mention how jealous he was of the boys that Isla brought home to her apartment. 2 more victims would go to Isla's apartment and be killed. The police would end up arresting Ian Lotus under the suspicion that he was killing the men Isla would bring home. Ian would plead innocent during the trial. Isla would take the stand at Ian's trial, where she said that she always felt discomfort when around Ian, and that every time she brought a boy home, Ian would bang on her door and tell her to stop. Isla testified against Ian in his trial. Ian Lotus would be found guilty of the 5 murders at the apartment complex Isla Strude resided in. Ian would be sentenced to life in prison. He would only end up serving 3 years of that sentence. Isla wouldn't kill again for another year, hoping that the police would stop watching her. After a year, she would resume her killings. Over the course of 2 years, she would lure 7 more innocent men to her home and kill them. The police would eventually arrest Isla and put her on trial for the murder of 12 men. Isla would plead innocent to all the claims. However, the jury would find her guilty of the 12 murders of the first degree and perjury. Isla would be given the death sentence. The public was especially disgusted with Isla Struve, especially because of her actions against Ian Lotus, and the fact that she subjected him to 3 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. What was so important about this person that they were very clearly hunted down? Or maybe it's the same as the others and that the Wither found them. But that also wouldn't make sense because I feel like the Wither isn't a big enough threat for anyone in this world. Or at least not the advanced civilization that existed beforehand. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But there's a part of me that wants to know. And I have to know what happened to this person here. Who was this person? And why did they document their descent into insanity? And what is with this? What is with this gibberish? What's with the dots and lines that proceed to not make any sense whatsoever? What are they trying? Are they trying to tell me something or tell whoever the hell was supposed to find this something? I don't know. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. But maybe I'll be able to get my answers at some point. I guess that's all I hope for, is just an answer to something. Who knows? Maybe I'll never find out. Damien Drone is the most successful hybrid serial killer of all time. Being a Wither hybrid, Damien was stronger than most other people that he met. Damien didn't waste his time with his victim and only aimed to kill as many people as he could. When Damien was 19, he brought a sword to a mall. Damien would proceed to kill as many people as he could while he was there. Damien would end up killing 12 people in that mall before the police arrived. Damien fled the scene before he was arrested. It didn't take long for Damien to be put in the top 10 most wanted list. However, this didn't discourage Damien from killing. All it did was prompt Damien to be quieter in his killings. Damien's next killing would be when he would sneak out at night and break into the home of a family and kill 2 parents and their 2 children. Damien would then move on to the next door neighbors and kill the 2 people inside. One of Damien's most well-known murders was when he killed 2 officers while they were on patrol. Damien would flag them down and stab both of them with the weapon he carried. Damien would then proceed to call in their murders using the officer's radio. Damien Drone became known for toying with the police, ridiculing them for not being able to catch him. Damien publicly claimed that he would continue to kill en masse until the police were able to detain him. Damien claimed that the reason he was killing was because he needed to teach the police a lesson. Damien would end up being arrested when the police would end up triangulating his position. The police would invade the place Damien was hiding in and shoot him with no hesitation. Damien was the most wanted man in the world at the time, and was said to be a kill-on-sight suspect. Damien killed 68 people in the 10 years he operated as a killer. Damien is the only serial killer other than Techno A Blade to gain a cult-like following. People saw Damien as some kind of martyr. The reality is that Damien Drone was a sick individual that was attempting to justify his actions. Wither hybrids were a relatively new type of hybrid at the time of Damien Drone's reign of terror, so it was evident that the police didn't know how to fight against them. It was also noted that Damien Drone exclusively used swords to carry out his murders. Damien Drone's brain would be analyzed and it would be proven that there was nothing wrong with his brain, proving that Damien Drone was just a monster that wanted to kill. Damien Drone would go down as the most successful hybrid serial killer of all time. That just did not help. That doesn't help anything. Oh my god. And he was a Wither hybrid? That doesn't help. That means that Withers were a known part of society at the time. That means the Wither wasn't a threat to them. But I guess Wither hybrids are. I mean, I guess a human is going to be stronger than anything they present. But, and like, so I guess putting those two together is going to make it a super dangerous thing. But still, there's no way that this Damien Drone guy killed only 68 people. So there's no chance that he was the one responsible for the desolate and destroy towns. It makes no sense. And now that withers were confirmed to be just a normal thing in society that they were able to take down doesn't help. So what the fuck happened? What happened? Did they mess? Was it really a wither skeleton hybrid? Maybe that has to be it. There's no way it's anything else. There's no way that it's not a mistake. They have to have meant wither skeleton hybrid. They couldn't have meant wither hybrid, because no one human could cause as much destruction as that. What happened? What I've seen in this world, no human could do that. It had to have been a mistake. He had to have been a wither skeleton hybrid. That's it. There's no other explanation to that. There's literally no other explanation. A human, genuinely a human, could not do that. Oh, village. This one's like hidden in the mountains. Okay. Hold on a minute. What the fuck? There's a pig here, but there's no people. I mean, I hear mobs, but there's no one here. What the hell are these signs? Okay, what is going on? It's like, it's empty. It's literally empty. What the okay, what? What in the hell? What the fuck? Don't hurt us. What does that? What does that? Okay, there's nothing in here, right? Yeah, no. I already checked in there. Have mercy on us. What? Oh my. Oh, fuck. Shit. What? There's not even horses. It's just desolate. Don't hurt the children. Oh my fucking god. What the hell? Please spare it. What the fuck? We're up here. What the? The door. What is that? Oh, no. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. So basically, you saw that I came across a village that was completely undestroyed, and it was very heavily insinuated that the thing that was killing everyone is a player and not a mob like the Wither. And it was because of that that I started to, that my character started to research hybrid serial killers, since before, with the book, it was established that hybrids were a thing in this world. But yeah, that's the basics of it.
Also, just popping in here to mention that the book actually didn't establish that hybrids were a thing. What was established in the book was that pillagers and players were kind of two different entities. They were kind of two different species. And at this point in time, when the book was being written, uh, players and pillagers or illagers seem to live in somewhat harmony and work together. So yeah, hybrids weren't established until the case of, but just popping in to say that.
Okay, so I finally finished this Puffy's house here, right here. It's all done with everything. I did some smarts, and I just took the two glass that was right here and put it like in the unfinished area where it was. I can't believe it took me that long to think of that, but it's done. The only ones that isn't done is MT's. That's the only one. Hold on, hold on. I cannot. Oh God, I missed. Are you kidding me? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So let's just transport Puffy over. Just a sec. All right, where is he? There he is. Hey, buddy. Oh God, not this again. Wait, did I put them all in different things again this time? I think I did. I think I had like the basic instinct to put them all in different things. It's just that I can't tell what's on what. Um, what's Puffy? Puffy's on this, but so are all the LAs. So that's really awkward. Okay. This is stupid. Okay. All you actually no, not you. You go here. You and your three brothers, you get down here right this instant. Hey. Hey, Pinky. Get down here. Now. Don't make me come up there. Do not make me come up there. All right, fine. All right, got you. Who am I missing this time? God damn it. Okay, you know what? You stay. You stay. Now you get over here. Alright, there we go. Alright, now where's Puffy? There you are. Okay. Come on. Come on, buddy. We're taking you to a new home. We're taking you to a new home. Come here. In you go. Wait, I mean out you go. That's not the right one. God, be slower. Jesus. Alright. The only ones that isn't done is MT. You better be still with me. There you go. The only ones that isn't done is MT. I'm not sure what to do for MT, honestly. I could do anything. I don't know what MT wants. I don't know what he wants. He'll probably tell me. He'll probably tell me. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on, don't be stupid. Come on, don't be stupid. Don't be like actual Puffy. Oh, come on. Come here. Come on. There we go. Yep. Okay. And now you're gonna come this way. There you go. There you go. We're still going, right? You're still following? You're following? Good. Come on. We're going. We're going. Hopefully you don't die. If you die, I'm not gonna cry for you. Come on. Still with me? Alright, good. Still with me? Yeah, good. If you die, I remember, I will not cry for you, and I most likely will not replace you. So. Come on. And in you go. Oh, don't fall in the water. No. Oh my god, they're fast. Okay. Up. Okay. Now you're gonna follow me. Get on the slab. Don't you dare walk into the water. You little bitch. You little bitch. You little piece of shit. Okay, come on. In you go. There you go. You have your stupid ass lily pad house now. There you go. Okay. Now the only ones that I haven't finished is MTs. That's it. That's it. Can I fly, please? Can I? There we go. All right. That's the only one I haven't finished. Not sure what to do. I'm sure he'll tell me. I'm sure he'll tell me what to do. But yeah, that's all. That's all I got now. That's all. That's all. Oh my god. Wait. What the? Okay, I've seen this plenty of times now. I haven't seen that. I have not seen this. I don't have any obsidian on me. I don't have any obsidian on me. Okay, maybe I have some in my ender chest. Oh my god, wait, I do. Okay. Ow. Dang it. Okay. Where's my bed? There it is. Okay. I forgot to put this away. guess I'll leave the crying obsidian there too. Whatever. Okay. All right. Ooh, wait, I forgot to put all this stuff away. Hold on. Where is it? This goes wait. Oh, these aren't the same thing. Oh, that's mangrove. This is crimson. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. Now, I guess I'll just check it out. What am I gonna do for MT's build? I'm not too sure. Where am I gonna put it? I don't even know where to put it. I feel like I compacted this a little too much. Maybe I'll put it over here, just like behind Jessica's. Like right here is probably good. I don't know. I don't know what to do for MT's build. I'm not sure. I'll have to. Hopefully he'll tell me. I'll have to ask him. I'll have to ask him because I have no idea what to do. I don't even have the faintest idea of what to do for MT's build. I have no idea. I feel like I'm just clueless, honestly. Okay. Wait, where was my... Is this my mending villager? I'm pretty sure this is my mending villager. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's him. Well, now... Yeah, I'm just... Oh, I did it. Yes. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what to do. You know what I should do? We should start on the wedding for these two. We should start doing the wedding. I feel like that's probably a good idea. Because, like, I feel like we've been, like, teasing that. Like, these two have been here, like, since the beginning. Like, at some point, the wedding for them has to happen. You know what? Honestly, yeah. That's probably what we're going to do in the next stream. That'll probably be what happens in the next stream. We're probably going to do the wedding in the next stream. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That's actually probably a good idea. Yeah, you know what? I think next hardcore stream we're gonna start working on the wedding. Yeah, definitely. But like, oh, we could use a bunch of purpur for it. Ooh, that's probably a good idea. Ooh, that might be good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What the I don't... I don't know. You know what? I was probably just seeing things. All right, and that is where the lore ends from here on out. Hopefully you're able to interpret it in the ways that I made it, but of course most of the story is left untold. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. and I'm going to be doing more in the future. So yeah, goodbye.